You bring your peeps with you. It's a good thing. It really is a good thing. Okay, I'm here to tell you a little bit about, of course, about my company, but I just want to talk to you a little bit also about what it is you do. And I'm going to tell you some of the things that we've learned at OffiCenters over the last several years. But first, I just want to take an informal poll. How many of you are in business 1 year or less? Own your own business 1 year or less. How many are in that 1 to 5 year mark? Hands up. Great. How many over 5, maybe 5 to 10 years? Over 10? Over 15? Over 20? Good, it's you and I, and Spiess will be doing that. Over 30? Guess what? Just next week, in the next 2 weeks on June 1st, I celebrate 31 years of business. And you know the most important and fun thing about that is I have spent 31 years working primarily with small businesses. Man, I have seen it all. I see people come in with a chair and a folding table, and then the biggest furniture in the world. And I'm going to tell you how I know you're on the right path and all of those types of things. But like I said, I want to talk to you more about your businesses, a lot of the things that we have seen over the last 30 years, and why I think we're qualified to help you not make some of the bad decisions that I have made, because man, I have made a lot of them. We've tried a lot of things. We've done a lot of things. It's fun and exciting to be in business for yourself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you know? That means you need to participate with me. One of the reasons I love being at OffiCenters and virtual office centers is because we get lots of great businesses to come and play in our sandbox. And we wanted that since we were in kindergarten, right? Fun people to come and play with us. That's what we do in our locations. So if I put up stuff and I'm going to ask you questions, I expect some participation. Okay? All right, here we go. Did you know how many small businesses are in the Minneapolis area right now today? Everybody have an idea? 30,000. 30,000. Good question. Good guess, but up. Anybody else? 100,000. Okay, we're going to tell you how many. Great guesses, but here's the number. That was as of the end of the year. We have 63,454 businesses in the Minneapolis area. How many of those businesses are doing the same thing that you're doing? You know what? There are probably a lot. How can you make yourself look different and look unique? Because not only are there the 63,454 small businesses, we also have the EBACs. Now, those of you who've been in my presentations before, do you know who the EBACs are? Those are the extremely big-ass corporations that are out there doing the same things that we're doing. So we're fighting on 2 different levels. We have to watch the images on 2 different levels. How many business applications do you think in the city of Minneapolis go out per week? Per week. Anybody guessing over 70? A lot of people hitting the market in Minneapolis every single week. Pat, you know, right? Because you're getting all the people in the whole state of Minnesota. You said 24,000 businesses just last year?
Per year.
Per year.
Within 25 miles of downtown.
Within 20, there you go. Wow. Those are big numbers. How many of them are doing the same thing that you're doing? And how are you going to have a unique perspective on all of that? This was one of the reasons why they call us one of the best places to do business in the country, because they're saying how many patents do people apply for in this Minneapolis area. I'm going to give you a hint. How many think, and it's per 10,000 residents, the national number is 1.8. Anybody guess? 3. 10. 3's a good. 3'd be, wow, that's double the average, right? Who said 10? I'm going to tell you, 10's closer. We have 8.6. It's one of the highest in the country. A lot of people innovating in the Minneapolis area. You know what? We're doing a lot of interesting things. Keep your eyes open, because if somebody in this room, you're probably a part of that number, and why it's such a great and growing number. Kiplinger rated Minnesota in the top 10 great cities to do business in the country. There's a lot of cities, right? A lot of places. How many? Where do you think we are in the top 10?
7.
Perfect. Great guess right off the bat. We are number 7. But it's a great place to do business, to start businesses. You know, a lot of people say, why is Minneapolis this great city? And you can see why, because our business taxes are 15th lowest in the country. We say a lot of things about what happens with businesses, but there are a lot of tax incentives here in Minneapolis. Great colleges all around the area. We're leaders in healthcare. There's a lot of facilities, so there's lots of things as you're making your products and services to sell. You can come in, and there's a lot of people to buy our goods. We've got a great downtown area, lots of entertainment and arts, and a great quality of life. In fact, this morning I was watching one of the morning shows, and they had said we actually have, it's the best bike city in the whole country. Did you know that? Here we are, we don't even have that much of a summer, and we're the greatest bike city in the country. How cool is that? Last year, NBC Today Show named us the best city for young professionals, criteria being, you know, the work environment, of course, and housing, and education, and jobs. All of those types of things. Now I'm going to tell you about the whole country. We talked about Minnesota and Minneapolis and our local businesses, but I want to tell you a little bit about just about businesses in America right now. 28 million small businesses in the U.S. today. When we think about our corporations, we outnumber them by 1,162 to 1. That's a lot, isn't it? If we got together, how amazing would that be? We employ well over half of the private workforce, representing 48% of the payroll. I think some of those big jobs and those big CEOs, that's how we kind of tipped over on that payroll part, right? We create 80% of almost all new jobs. This one of them that we put in red actually says 70% of all of the small businesses are operated by one person. Think about that. It can be a lonely place, huh?
It's close to the divorce rate.
There you go. We like those comments. And if we all got together in our 28 million as a country, we would be 17th most populous country in the world, would be all of us small business people that they would put up on an island somewhere. Can you imagine the energy that that would have? We'd be solving a lot of big problems fast in that country. This is one of the facts that as I started a couple of years ago to rebrand our virtual office business, this hit me. 98% of the businesses from 2009 forward are going to be Soho. That means small office, home office based. How many of you are based at home? A great majority of you. You know what? 98% of the room, right, should be based using home-based and Soho services. Which says that, really says that the small businesses are the heartbeat of the American economy. It's all about getting things going, and all of us are a big part of that. I'm going to show you some stats that to me were staggering. These are the 2010 stats. Of course, it's from the Small Business Administration. They don't have the 2011 stats out yet, but we'll use 2010. We'll go from there, right? 672,200 businesses created in 2010. I think that number was up slightly in 2011. During that same time, almost 600,000 business closures. Pretty staggering. As many are coming in, there's a lot of people who are just dropping out. Of that, all those closures, almost 43,500 bankruptcies. Bankruptcies actually peaked in 2009, 2010, they came down 2011, down again. So we're getting some stability in a lot of our small business and our small business markets. Those are really, to me, really staggering stats. When you look at a small business, we don't start to think right away, what's our lifespan and what can we do and how are we going to last not just through year 1, but like me and go into year 31, right? Here's the good news and the bad news. Yeah?
Do you have the reasons for those closures?
I do, and guess what? Next slide. Stay tuned. The good news is 70% of you will hit the 70% of you will hit the 2-year mark. That's a good thing. 70% of all of the businesses will hit the 2-year mark. Bad news is that within 5 years, it's between 2 and 5 that people will close. Probably because of capitalization. A lot of people say, you know, you should capitalize 1 to 2 years in advance so we have the money to last us. And then we have to see how are we going to get beyond 2, beyond 5, beyond 10. Those are the main questions. Reasons for failure. Do you want to come up and sit in the front? Because you might want to take notes on some of these. Okay, we'll see what we're going to do. Inability to reach decisions and act on them. This information comes from the SBA, okay? It's on the SBA website. These are the main reasons people have said they fail in business. I want you to read this one, inability to reach decisions and act on them. As a business owner, it is your job to make decisions on behalf of your business. If you cannot make a decision, I would say fold now. Because to me, it's the most important thing. You need to be able to make decisions on behalf of yourself, your staff, your clients, your business. It is key and critical. Up there on the top of reasons for failure. And don't think I'll be done with that one, because I'll be pushing that one home again to most of you, so we'll go on. Bad relationships with suppliers or customers, that can be detrimental, totally detrimental. How are you going to try people out and do those kinds of things? Let's face it, 70% of us can be one person. What happens if you get ill, have an accident, can't work? Leads to the ruination of a lot of small businesses. Bad budgeting, overborrowing, using too much credit. There's been a lot of that. That's the bankruptcy issues that we're talking about. Underpricing your goods sold. You need to think about how you're going to price. Because doing a whole lot of things and not getting the right rate is not going to help you or anybody that you work with. Reluctance or inability to seek assistance, ask for help. We're alone a lot of the time. How do we get to the next level? You don't do it without conferring and interacting with others. You just don't. And some people, you know what, you're going to be home or lonely or whatever else. You need to bounce some ideas off some other people. Get out there, talk about your business, talk to professionals who can help you do displays, who can help you do websites, who can help you make decisions about what you're going to do with your credit cards or your office space. We're here to help one another. These are my 10 fatal mistakes that I like to say I've seen people make over the years, so I'm going to share my list. It has nothing to do with the SBA. This is just Lori's list, okay? Need to reserve some capital and have some money. We all need some money to run our businesses. I see people, they go, oh, I just got this really big thing, and so I bought a new car, and then I bought some, you know. Remember when we used to say share, one for you and one for me? Your business is a one. One for the business, one for me. If you even can save some of what you take in. And I know how exciting it is to make sales. But your business needs part of that money too. I tell people don't go on the cheap. I've seen it. You know what? I saw somebody cut a business card out of a piece of Xerox paper, and they Xeroxed it, and then they cut it. And went, you know what? If you're going to go to networking, there's a lot of places where you can go and make inexpensive cards. Get a professional-looking card. Get a professional-looking website. A professional-looking display. You know what? You need to make an investment. If this is what you want to do from now until the next infinity, 10, 15, 20 years. Remember that it's not all about you. It is great to start a business, and I'm going to tell you, I like to think me a lot of the time. But the people that are the best businesses, that have the best longevity, they didn't care what color their office was. They didn't care if all the chairs matched. They were more concerned about the products and services they gave to their clients. They put the clients first. They spent the money on what was going to look outside before they spent it on themselves. I can tell right away. I got the biggest $10,000 desk, and it's being delivered from the hottest store in town, and I think to myself as it's moving in, give me 6 months and I'm going to own that desk. I believe it. And it has happened more times than I paid 10 grand for it. I won't give you 10 cents for it. There's all kinds of stuff. Make sure that you're buying and investing according to what's right for you. And I will celebrate with you when you've got tons of money in the bank, and we bring that desk in. Then we have a celebration. We'll have champagne. We'll do all the other kinds of things. But on day one, I got this great business loan, and I see what people invest in sometimes, and it just, honest to God, the hair on the back of my neck is just like up. Makes me crazy. And I think, and then I take bets. Sometimes I'll say with my staff, what do you think? You know what? And we're right a lot of the time. Don't, right, guys? We are. And it's not guys. We have no guys. We have 18 women on our team. So, you know. Put a value on your time. I'm going to tell you just a brief story about time. I have a woman who said to me, how much is a fax? This was back in the day when we were receiving faxes, right? $1 a page to receive. So she would get 5 pages. So she said, $5 to get that fax. I got a fax machine at home. I'll get in my car and okay, whatever. That way, you know, whatever works for you. How much value is really on your time? You gotta look at it. Ask for help. There's things that you will do well, things that you will do better than anyone else. But you also got to know your weak points. Pricing, we talked about that. That was on the SBA list too. Make sure you're pricing in the right place. Inability to make decisions. Man, I'm going to just press this one on you all day long. You need to go one way or the other. It doesn't help anyone to not. If you can't, it's a fatal and critical error. All of you need to practice. Go to a restaurant, open the menu, take 30 seconds, and order something. When the food comes, live with your consequences. What's the worst that can happen? You ate a bad salad? You need to practice making decisions. Do I want the red shirt or the blue one? Or in my case, I just take both. Because it just makes me feel better. You know, I can talk about it later at home and I like it all. But these are some of the things. If you know you're one of those people who can't make a decision, you need to practice on the little things first. What am I going to wear in the morning? What's the shoes that are going to be? Whatever it's going to be, practice, decide fast, live with the consequences. Practice, decide fast, live with the consequences. It's not that bad. The other thing, this is the thing, you need to get your bills out. How do you get your money? I see people and they go, I'm working so hard, what's wrong? And I haven't been able to get out my bills. I'm like, what? You need to bill and collect your money. If you're not good at that part, let someone help you. But work, not get your money, not get out your bills, not do your collections. That's what part of crazy isn't that? Collect the money. So see, I can't ask for them. I got people who owe me money. Lori, I want to give you a check, but someone owes me money. You know what I say to those people? NMP. You know what that means? Not my problem. I want your check by the 5th. You deserve your check in the time that people see fit. If you say, I'm going to deliver this to you, and I want half down in the next 10 days, talk about how you want to be paid. Because what I tell my people is, it is not a sale until you collect the cash. And then you want to keep up on technology. I have technology stuff in here, but Dave does such a good job with it that I took mine out. You need social media. You need all of the things you talked about. This is the thing that I see in small business owners all the time. One of the very fatal errors. You need to take out your negative self-talk. I see it. Well, I'm just one person. I've only been in business for a couple of months. And, you know, when you start to talk about yourself as less than, people will see that too. You look like you have an inability. You look like you have hesitancies and all of these other types of things. You need to be strong in your talk and no, I'm just, no, I can't, no, we only. Take them out. You're a business owner. It's time for us all to put our best foot forward. No self-talk. If you don't do it to your clients, you won't do it in front of yourself. Very, very important. I don't like it. I tell people all the time, you aren't just. You just have taken some of the biggest risks that you will ever take. You are putting yourself out there on the line every single day. Be proud of what you do. Be proud of your business. I'm proud of my businesses, the businesses that are here. How many of you have, in the last week, you have had some major failure? Somebody who hasn't bought from you, who hasn't whatever? I always say last week. I want to know this week. I want to know how many of you have even failed today. Because as a small business owner, you better get used to it. Failure is your friend. We want to get out there and fail every day. Because we don't get a yes until sometimes we get a whole hell of a lot of no's, right? You need to fail. And I'm going to tell you, fail often. I want you to fail every single day. I wish failure on all of you every day. That good kind of failure. But here's what I'm going to tell you that I say about failure. Fail really fast. Get over it. If you don't get in the right direction, change directions. Fail often, but fail really fast. And then let's get on with the success part, okay?
You forgot one.
You got that one?
No,
Good.
you forgot one.
What's that?
Fail cheap.
Oh, fail cheap. Lee, add that tomorrow on the side. It'll be on the side tomorrow. My sister does my PowerPoint stuff. It'll be on there tomorrow. You know what? I agree with you on that. I hate it when they cost me a lot of money. I just like, woo, not good. Because I don't want any of you to become a statistic. That's why I'm sharing this information with you. How are we going to be strong? Things that make you look small. We're going to talk about bigs, and we're going to talk about the bigs and the smalls, right? Look at your business card. Look at your website. These are the places you need to spend money. Your web address, your email address. How many of you say Gmail, Yahoo, Comcast? You know what that says? Small, small, small. Come on. Let's invest in some real identity for your business. Your cell phone is your business line? Let's make an investment. You shouldn't have to have 24/7 access to all of your clients. No place to call your own. Of course I'm going to give you a place, right? I got to get my plug in here sometime. Here's what makes you strong. Relationships and partnerships and access to teams of people who work, and the technology and networking groups, and having a great community of people to work with, because work enthusiasm is contagious. It's a proven fact. One of the things that we all have is right now the buy local initiatives are really strong. And American Express did a big survey, which was just this spring, that said people actually want to buy, consumers want to buy local products. So it's one of the things that we can make us really stand out, right? We want to sell things to one another. We'll fight those e-bags together, won't we? Know what you do best. Evaluate your strengths and your weaknesses. When you find out where your strengths are, do that more. It's not a hard formula, right? When you know what your weaknesses are, if that's billing, if that's some of those other kinds of things, get help with the things you don't want to do. Because if you're like, a lot of you are like me, when I don't want to do something, my staff plug your ears, I don't want to do it. So I don't get around to it. You aren't going to see anybody on your staff like, these women are detail-oriented, they are great billers, they are great collectors, and I can give them directions and lead, right? So together we make up a great team. But if the billing had to go out, and it goes out on the 20th, and most of them are done by the 21st, it's done and out, I might not get my bills out on time. I believe that we have the business model for the future, and I'm going to tell you, we want short-term commitments. We want to make frugal choices, right? We want to make the best, take the money that we have and make it stretch the furthest. We want low overhead, because when you're pricing your services, what you spend has a lot to do with how you're going to price. Buy what you need when you need it. You want to have less equipments and contracts. If you have staff, you don't have to have full-time staff all the time, because staff is expensive before you take that step. And what you want to have is something that's going to give you total flexibility, so you can scale up and down as needed. You know what, when I started the virtual business, which will be 3 years, July 15th, we rebranded, we did VirtualOffiCenters along with OffiCenters, which was our primary business. We always had people who worked part-time or virtual. We always used to think, those are the people with no money, those poor people. You know, now they're the people who, it's a lifestyle choice. So we had to rethink, how are we going to sell to these people who are, 98% are going to be at home? So I started talking to people. What do you like about home? They would tell me, you know, it's green and you don't, there's no commute and the dress code really rocks and we can multitask and do all these kinds of things. So there was a lot of reasons. But when I asked them, what did you not like about working at home? Number one reason, what do you think? You are totally and completely correct, almost in all cases. And I talked to hundreds of people who worked at home. Almost everyone said lack of interaction with their peers. It's a lonely place, home. And I know that because in the winter I have a place in Arizona. I have a small condo, so I go down and I do my work, and I swear to you that when I go to get coffee in the morning, I don't run into any other people to bounce business ideas off of at my coffee machine. Here it is. Here are some of our home challenges. There's challenges. I mean, the home's got good stuff, but there's also a lot of challenges. Here's my challenge right here. This is my dog, Mira. She's my personal assistant. She's sitting on the chair at the condo. You notice there are blinds on the side and they're down because every time someone walks by the window, she has to tell me who's out there. And that's always when I'm on a phone call with somebody at the office, right? So we all have our challenges about what makes home difficult. I speak to a lot of women's groups, and I tell them, work isn't something you're supposed to do in between loads of laundry. That's my slide on the bottom. You need to dedicate your time, your energies. There's a time to multitask, and there's a time to focus on work. If work is how you get 100% of your money to support you and your family, then every once in a while, you need to get some work done. Remember, I have people all the time, they're meeting, where are you meeting with people? We're at the coffee shop, we're at wherever. Starbucks is not, one guy says, it's so loud in there. Yeah, well, it's not your office. You need to wake up and smell the coffee elsewhere, not at Starbucks. But guess what? We serve Starbucks at OffiCenters. You can come in and get a free cup of coffee. Because I tell people sometimes for just what the price of those designer coffees, you can have a private room, which is really going to impress your clients, right? So there you go. Just a reminder to all of you who remember. Virtual solutions are not about walls. They're not about equipment, no capital expenditures, and having access to teams of people who can help you do things. And the biggest thing at OffiCenters, in virtual OffiCenters that we have is communities of people and networking groups and lunch and learns and iPad Mania and a lot of the things Dave knows because he's our speaker at some of those things. We have flexible offer for live answering telephones. We just put in 3 new phone systems last year, so we have voice over IP solutions for people. If you want to have us answer and go to your cell phone or any of those other types of things. Lots of private meeting spaces, about 50 options in our 5 locations. When you're in with us in one, you can use all 5. Mail and package handling, a definite professional image. Even if you want to use us on as little as a 30-minute basis. This is our tagline, we're virtually anywhere under the sun. I want to be that woman on the dock with my computer. And not because she has a great tan. She looks great in that tank top, but you know, there you go. So I tell my people, don't waste. You know what? We all have the same amount of 24 hours in a day. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your resources. And above all, don't waste your energy. You have to preserve all of those things in order for you to have a great, well-balanced business. I'm going to tell you the best advice anyone ever gave me. And what do you think it's going to pertain to? Decision making, right? Make your best guess. I am not expecting you to know the answers every day. Not everything is black and white. But I am going to challenge you, rather than sit on a fence or sit in the middle of the road, take all of the information, use your brain, and guess, one way or the other. No fence sitting. Promise. Okay? No fence sitting. Guess. Because what worst that can happen is, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have gone that way. Tomorrow I'll recorrect. That is the beauty of owning your own business. I say, I go from an idea to implementation in 30 seconds flat. And ask any of the people sitting in that back row wearing the same orange scarves, they know it's true. He goes, there she goes with one of those harebrained ideas again. My sister, who's also on my team, it was just my birthday, she gave me a mug and it says, trust your crazy ideas. Because I do, and I have, and this is one of the craziest people, but we are doing it and making it happen. Worst advice anyone ever gave me, it's only business. To me, it is very personal. I think to you, a lot of you, it is too. I'm going to tell you why I think the future is bright, and it was the title of our talk. You know what? We've done a lot of things at OffiCenters in the last, I'm going to say January through the end of April, first 4 months of the year. We have 71 new clients. That's a lot. Compared to our other years, we're off the charts in what we're doing with our new client base. We've had 17 clients expand. That's take additional offices, go from one plan upgrade, go from a virtual plan to a full-time office, any of those other kinds of things. I'm going to tell you, in the last year, in the last 2 years, I haven't had 17 clients expand. Things are changing in the marketplace. This is why I know the future is bright for all of us. We have had a 700% increase in our virtual office clients. That's been in the last 2.5 years. But we hit the 700. We went over the 700% mark. We will hit well into our, my goal was to get back into the $3 million in sales range. This year we will be closer to the $4 million. Right now we have a client base of around 700 people. We went into the year with about 685 clients in our rosters, active full-time clients. We've had 4 business failures. That's people going out of business, bankrupt, closing down their space, getting a job, whatever, 4. Do you know why our people are successful? Because they hang with other successful people. We have some of the most amazing networking opportunities at OffiCenters that you can even imagine. And we have fun, can I just tell you, literally every single day. I tell my staff all the time, when I recruit or no matter what I do, I want people who smile and laugh and have a good time, because all of them can quit tomorrow and go someplace else. I have my name on so much stuff that I'm not going anywhere. So I want people around me on my staff that are great. I want clients that are doing fun things, because I'm a person who gets bored easy, and still to this day, I love getting up and coming to work. Because every single business that we have worked with, thousands over 30 years, every one of you has such a unique and compelling story that I cannot wait to hear what the coolest people, what the most innovative people are doing and selling in the Minneapolis marketplace. It is the best thing ever. I have the best job, I have the best team, and I have the best clients, and I will challenge any of you in that regard. Any of you. So, I'm going to leave you with a quote. Some people dream of success. I have always been a dreamer, and there's nothing wrong with dreams. But most of us need to get out of bed every day, wake up, and work hard for what we got, because that is the recipe for small business success. I want to thank you so much for your time, and it was fun.